just had a hard time finding it. But that's.
Did you like Google?
Oh yeah, I know how to Google.
No, but you did, and you didn't find it.
What? No. I mean, I've talked to lots of. Sorry, I'm a huge dick. I'm sorry about that.
You got a CD. You got enough attitude. Where's your CD? Put it.
Actually, I have a Moo card.
I was going to say he doesn't believe in physical CDs.
Yeah.
Are you a singer, Brad?
What's that?
Are you a singer?
Sort of, yes.
You can adjust that if you'd like, eh?
Well, see,
It's
I
like
didn't think I'd be here this long. That was sort of my problem. Anyways, thanks for your
Well,
answer.
but that's one aspect of a manager's role is
Yeah.
the online world. And sometimes, in case of my management company, between me and my partner Eric, we don't do any of the Facebook, Twitter. We
Yeah.
don't do that.
Well, no,
We don't
I
have
see
time.
that stuff.
We have someone that, okay, that's your job. You sit there all day and just go.
But see, I do all that stuff myself, and I wouldn't really give that up. I wouldn't give somebody 10% to maintain my Twitter stuff because they don't know what I had for breakfast. It's cool. I mean, I'm doing all that stuff just because that's sort of what people do. What I'm looking for, though, is like more sort of the guidance of the publicity and the stuff that you were talking about, the getting the merch done, the things I hate to do. I don't hate to do the Twitter thing.
Right.
I love talking about myself, clearly. So I'm just wondering, it always feels like whenever I talk to the management people, there's such a disconnect between what's actually needed for me and lots of my friends. Like, lots of my friends are in the same position where they're like, I would happily give 10-15% up to get rid of a lot of these headaches and to have them done better than I'm going to pay attention to them. But every time I go to somebody, they're like, well, we'll shop you around to a label. I'm like, well, I don't see what that would even do.
Yeah, so you have to find the right person that
I was just hoping you'd have this number.
you feel.
Sorry.
Do you feel that, you know what, we're made for each other? Like
Yeah.
Sandy said, it's a marriage. Oh, you've connected. Okay, I know exactly. Let's work together. Let's do this. And it's a matter of time, but you will find that person. Hopefully.
Thanks a
I don't know
lot.
who that person is, though.
Yeah, I was just curious if there was like a subgenre of managers that I was unaware of.
Well, you can go to Music Managers Forum Canada.
And the Santa one, right?
Well, these girls just do. That's all they do is internet
Okay.
stuff.
But
They're
if you
not
wanna look-
managers, but they will take whatever you've got going and
Right.
get more mileage out of it.
Yeah, that's a specialty. I'm talking about a database of Canadian managers. It exists.
So what was that one called again?
The Music Managers
Music
Forum.
Managers Forum.
For
Okay.
Canada, which is a global network of managers, but there's a Canadian chapter.
Okay.
And you can see a list of different management companies and who they represent. Maybe there's someone that represents an artist that's not too similar, but sort of they would get what you're doing. Maybe that's what you need to hook on.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, good luck.
Music Managers Forum. Kim, can you do me a favor and adjust that? It's stressing me out. Everyone's been today. Awesome, thank you.
Pretty talented.
Nicely done.
I think a lot of folks have the same issue where they don't necessarily need someone to manage what they're doing right now. They are in middle ground. Like I'm an artist. I've had people who have come to me. They want to manage me. I feel as though their services aren't necessarily needed. However, what I need is a manager above their level, someone who basically, what I would assume, have access to their network. Do you know what I mean? Now, is there a way to market yourself to these people, or is it like you said, you need to, have a connection with them? How do you pick up a manager?
Yeah, it's. I always say the cream rises to the top. Eventually, you'll meet the right person, and the fact that people are coming to you now is a good sign. At least, okay, you're doing something right. But if they're at a level that you think you can do the work yourself, then just keep doing what you're doing. And there's no set rule, but there's going to be a period of time or amount of time that at that point, someone who you believe or perceive to be the person that can take you to the next level will be made aware of you. And it could be anything, winning a contest or seeing you at a show, hearing it, checking out your MySpace page. It's like, that's how we find a lot of times we find acts too. It's like through a referral, as I said earlier.
So that's just it. It's basically,
Stay the course.
yeah.
You know.
But if you have a buddy that wants to help you, I think some of the best managers come out of just, that band, the Crash Test Dummies, those two guys were just buddies, right? They got together, and Jeff Rogers is now like a manager from it, right? He manages other artists now. But if you have a buddy, because so much of it, there's so much legwork, and I know what you're saying, like it's so time.
It's not the legwork that I'm concerned about. I mean, I have time to do the legwork. It's all that. It's basically what I need access to is someone with who has the contacts at each and every large Canadian festival. We need the contacts.
I always say I'm only as strong as the CD in my hand, Like it doesn't, in a way, like if we don't have a great product that we're working, it doesn't matter how good we are at our jobs either, right? So if you make an amazing CD, people will find it. That's a fact, for sure. Don't you
Yeah,
think?
the music
Like,
really has to open
the
the
songs
door.
are amazing, like
And if
people.
it's truly amazing, they'll come. They'll find a way to. They'll hear about it.
So have a little faith.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
gotta keep. And maybe it's not these songs. It's in 3 months. Those are the songs that will connect with someone. It's usually the next one you're not expecting it. But in case of one of our artists, a kid named Justin Azuka, who we manage, we weren't even looking for another act. This is 3 years ago. He was 17, but we heard the music. It was, wow, this guy's got a really special voice. Went to see him live. He was amazing. Okay, we got to work with this kid. And he wasn't necessarily looking, but he knew he needed help at some point. And he talked to a bunch of different managers. It wasn't just us. And then we said the right things, and we felt a connection. That's how that one worked out. But the music has to speak to them first.
Thank you.
Something I found interesting as we've done this, a few times this has come up, and it kind of caught me off guard a little bit, talking about connections in the industry, and I guess if you get to a certain level, people are going to find you, but it talked about lawyers. Having lawyers as a contact doesn't seem intuitive to me, but maybe touch base on entertainment lawyers and how much power they actually wield.
Yeah.
Lawyers are there.
They do, okay, good to know.
Any lawyers in the room? No.
It just doesn't seem like a person I would go shop something to would be a lawyer, but I guess if you need a lawyer anyway,
In
because you're doing
America,
stuff.
most of them do it. In Canada, you have Chris Taylor, he should be his own client. He's a rock star lawyer, but he's very good at getting record deals for a lot of his clients. But he represents a number of acts, and in fact, he was a manager. He got to a point where he started a label, and he was a manager. He managed Metric, and Metric was on his label. That's one of a few bands because no one else wanted him. He said, "Okay, I'll do it." It got crazy and overwhelming, so he just went back to being a lawyer. So, but you can go to lawyers who will do the work to a certain level, but at some point they're limited in their expertise. They're great at getting to a certain point, but after that, unless they want to be a full-time manager, you can't do both.
And I guess, like as you mentioned, unless the music is fantastic, even a lawyer is not going to be able to help you out anyway, right? It starts with the music.
Yeah, a lawyer can get it on everyone's desk, and everyone can listen to it. And some people will pass, some will say, "Okay, I'll come and see the band," and they'll see the band and they don't get it. It's not for them. We've got one of these. It happens all the time. We're always showcasing a band for so and so, and yeah, I don't get it, or I love it. Okay, let's sign it. So